Good night through Papua New Guinea. Welcome and thank you for tuning in once more to Sports Scene. Lawrence joins me again here on set, much more cleaned up and looking very smart.
I've got to say thank you very much to my friends at Hannah's. Cleaned me up nicely today.
Awesome. All right, so on the show tonight, you'll catch National Soccer League round 14 and an incredible blast from the past from the vault right here on Sports Scene. Lawrence? Let's get straight on to scoreline. Hang on, this DVD still on the screen.
Yeah, I was just caught up in the vault. That's coming up later on the show. But the NRL Telstra Premiership round number 16. Okay, the Rabbitohs, man, they were just absolutely annihilated. They annihilated Parramatta Eels 38-0, and the Gold Coast Titans come from behind win to beat St George Dragons 14-10. Not really. Anyway, Roosters 58, Broncos 12. Let's move it on. New Zealand Warriors 36, Newcastle Knights 6. The Warriors have dented the chances of the Knights, who were looking to get into the top 8. But don't worry about the other score, didn't he?
You sure you don't want to go there? Okay.
We're all good. The Sharks 28 defeated North Queensland Cowboys 12, and the Penrith Panthers, they were down 6-0 early in this game. But Cleary and the guys, these guys just on top of their game at the moment, leading the competition. Penrith 30 defeating West Tigers on 6. Now off to the next page, Melbourne Storms, too good here. Justin Olam scored 3 tries. Melbourne Storms 30 defeating Manly 6. And the Canberra Raiders, thank goodness for the Canberra Raiders. Every time the Bulldogs play, I just got to say this, they must lose so that Broncos are not last on the ladder. But Canberra Raiders 34 defeated Canterbury Bulldogs 20. And that is the NRL update from last weekend. Now let's go local to our National Digicel Cup. And this is how it turned out. The Toomba 14 defeated Eagles 10. And Mendy Muruks Inlay defeated Galfiso 40 points to 4. As we flick over the page, the next games are of round 8. Snacks Tigers 40 defeated Lahanis 12 in Goroka. Miox 18 defeated the Cutters 12. Willie Minoga scored a late try to win that game. Wigman 24 defeated the Baris 14, and the Gurias 14 defeated the Vipers 10. It was the battle of the brothers, Arce versus Watson in that game.
All right, Lawrence, look, speaking of the Lahanis and Snacks Tigers game, Rugby League never fails to fire up this great nation. But right now, we're actually talking about an actual fire that was set alight in Goroka, that's up at the National Sports Institute during that fixture. That's the round 8 fixture, Lahanis and Snacks Tigers up in Goroka. And in fact, you are seeing pictures right now. There is a Kunai Gatehouse at the NSI that was set alight, and even there was an invasion of the field by spectators when Lahanis scored a try there. So this has prompted PNG NRLC to call off any more Digicel Cup games in Goroka this season, or at least until strict pandemic protocols are eased. Now, according to PNG NRLC Chairman Stanley Hondina, pre-assessments were carried out under the pandemic protocol prior to the game, but the passion of these spectators, Lawrence, they got in there 10 minutes into the second half, and they even took the main gate.
Yeah, apparently there was only meant to be 300 spectators to go into the field. Unfortunately, obviously after the Lahani scores, the ones inside were cheering, and the ones outside were like, well, we want to get into the action as well. And you know, unfortunately, I'm sure it was just a minimum, bare minimum that set alight, the Kunai house there. And unfortunately for the people of Goroka, that's your last game, but you know, that's the way it is.
Yeah, it's incredible how they still paid attention to the game, even though there was a Kunai house blazing at the back there.
Yeah, I mean, rugby goes on.
I know.
Fires at the back, but
fires in front as well. All right, be sure to stick around. We've got NSL round 14 right up. We'll go for a break now. Welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene. To football, the NSL Round 14 happened over the weekend here in Port Moresby and over in Lae. Now the matches here in Port Moresby were telecasted live right here on EMTV, and in the next couple of minutes you'll see the highlights from those matches and the results from the Lae game as well. Round 14 match day in Port Moresby started with the usual groundworks. And then Hekari and VTS took to the field.
Teams now entering the EMTV stadium.
A little mix-up with jersey colors in the opening half, so Hekari not fielding players in the usual way. Nonetheless, the match got off to a start, and it wasn't until the 35th minute when VTS found a breakthrough Jonathan Allen to mark the scoreboard first.
Jonathan Allen for VTS!
Hekari equalized in the 39th minute, and that was where the score remained at halftime.
Hekari looking for that equalizer. Foster, there it is! Michael Foster back on the pitch, back on the goal scoring sheet.
Second half saw Hekari reverting to the well-recognized red, although that was the only change that happened. The scoreline for one remained at 1-1 with VTS holding their own.
Chance!
The match that followed saw FC Bougainville giving Moresby United enough reasons to go back and prepare well in a 3-0 beating.
Opportunity, Basil Jafari. Basil Jafari opens the scoring. Delivered. Read it out. For Basil Jafari. Smooth play by Basil Jafari. That was a good pass.
And the main game between Gulf Komara and Moresby Wawans was deemed sloppy by some, but not Komara coach Stephen Mune, who had no complaints with his team pulling through a 2-1 win over the Moresby side.
Oh. Oh. Well, if that isn't a goal, I don't know what is. Kenneth Ara chips it over. Ilagi Geno just thumped that home. Jason Bendy.
We had few chances in the first half and we didn't put them away, but that's something that we have to be mindful of, and you take the chances as you come on. So I guess we played well, and we just had to tell the boys to concentrate and really focus on the second half, and it paid off. So I think pretty much happy with the win, and it's very important that we needed a win to stay up there. We understand that the top four is wide open. Yep, so it's good. I think it's basically it's all team effort, team combination, and players have to be really mindful of, especially in defending, and not only playing very offensive, but defense is where you pay the price for it. So just have to be careful with the defense.
We're looking forward for the next match against Toti FC. We'll go, and I think we'll be more preparing ourselves from the defensive and attacking both defense and attacking, to see if we can score goals in the next weekend match. But they take a lot of work on the boys, but we'll try to see if we can fix them, put them on the pitch in the next.
Your thoughts on the shortcomings during this match?
We prepared for the match. We were looking for the defensive and the attacking side, but attacking we didn't really execute what we were supposed to execute. And, part of our recovery, we didn't very much come back to recover and work with our defense too. So that's giving me a kind of thought that I have to go and work on the defense and the attacking likewise to see the next outcome.
Meanwhile, the match over in Lae at the Sir Ignatius Kilagi Stadium was played out in dull conditions, with Starlands losing to Star Mountain at a 1-0 scoreline. although Lae City and Kutubu were forced to meet on Monday due to the wet weather conditions, and it would be Lae City who showed prowess in a 3-1 win. And if I may add, Lae City's Alvin Komolong did really score his own goal there to help break the zero for Kutubu, but that's a story for another day. There you go, a roundup of round 14 of NSL that happened over the weekend. Lawrence, I got to say, it's a little, much more slower than round 13, but otherwise, a couple of controversial happenings there.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of controversial things there, but Lae, of course, rainy Lae. They were not able to play on the scheduled day. They had to play the next day. Even still, the grounds, as you saw, were pretty wet as well. So
yeah. All right, all the best to all the teams for this coming weekend as well. We'll go for a break now and stay tuned. We have a blast from the past in the vault.
All right, welcome to the Vault segment here on Sports Scene. Now, most older folks will remember Sports Scene in its early days. We took the liberty of doing Sports Scene a bit of justice. Here's a blast from the past. Let's take a look at it.
Good evening, everyone. This is Daikin's Sports Scene. A big thank you to the Kenmore Group. Good evening, Afi.
Good evening, Kilim. How are you, man?
Not too bad.
We've got the sexy Mark Sapias on set to do Flame Rice Union Week this week.
I never thought you thought that way about me.
Oh, you know.
We take a break from our regular sports and try a bit of canoe racing, something a bit more traditional. What exactly will we be doing today as the challenge?
I think we'll be going out to the reefs out there and be back because, we'll just do a short one this morning,
Nothing too hard, just to give you guys a bit of a chance, eh?
You wish.
One day you two could try this, but for the time being, we'll leave it to the professionals. That's the Panasonic Battery Super Challenge for this week. Catch you next week with the bigger and better one. Not better, but bigger.
Time for the Easy Loan Battle of the Codes. Can I ask what you're doing with them?
Well, AFL have asked me to step in to bring up the score. They reckon that I can knock together a few tens tonight, so I'll just do it for my country. And
Geez, you're a good bloke.
I'm a good bloke.
I don't know why people say things about you. Anyway, 3 passes. That was a 7. 10.
What about a 10?
Good to see you. Change that. Oh my God! What was that, like, Cecil? Can you tell me what that score was? That looked like a 1 to me. All the sporting action, great action there.
I don't know if it was great. The All Blacks went down to the Springboks. They absolutely got hammered. But it'll be interesting to see how the Australians look when they go over there.
Everybody says going to Olympics is a big thing, and you don't know unless you go there. And not many people in Papua New Guinea can have that insight into what it's like in an Olympic experience.
We don't actually see that on a day-to-day basis, but our athletes, I'm sure, will tell us once they return, once we get in touch with them and have a word with them, they'll tell you what it's all about.
Opening ceremony certainly was huge, and it's even bigger than some of the big Friday nights at Lamana. But Spiegel.
Hello, Papua New Guinea, and welcome to a special edition of Sports Scene, direct from the heart of Rugby League, Sydney. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Over to you, boys.
Well, thanks, Kenny, and welcome to the special edition of Sports Scene, direct from Sydney. You can just see the Bulldogs in the background, and they're just celebrating after their victory, which of course was a historic one for Canterbury. They haven't won in a long time, and good on them. Harvey, you must be stoked.
Man, I am absolutely over the moon, and the Bulldogs, I think they deserve it. They've been through a lot of turmoil over the year, and what do you reckon, Steve?
From the guys here in Papua New Guinea, Bulldogs, this one is for you.
Now, I'm just underneath Telstra Stadium, actually.
It's great to go through to your part of the world. I've visited a couple of times, and I know you love the game so much, and it's an honour for me to be a broadcaster that goes up there.
Just in the background you can see some boats. I'm sitting in front of the Cruising Yacht Club of Sydney.
I'm coming to you direct from the New South Wales capital. That's the Sydney Opera House in the background. It's a beautiful monument. It's an icon, of course, in Australia.
But boys, I hope you've had a fantastic weekend down there. It looks like you've had fun. I won't say the places we think that you guys have been, but I know that you've been keeping everything in good stead. We're having a big party in China, and us guys here at Sportsing, we're having a big party ourselves. There's fireworks everywhere! Before you get out there to take part in the sports, you must have some very important accessories. So, wrapped in my PNG shirt, I've got some nice cold water because it's going to be very hot out there. And of course, before you get out into the sun, in the tropics, anywhere, you've got to wear a hat. So you've got to make sure, kids, if you're going to have sport, you're going to have fun, you've got to do it the right way. Because there's only one way to have fun. It's by being very comfortable. Which country are you from?
From China.
Oh, good luck. You look like you're from China. Guys, have fun out there. High fives, high fives. All right, all right, all right, all right. And last one. Wish you guys a great weekend, and we'll see you with more fireworks from Sportsing. And we'll see you next week. Go, Beans, go, go, go. Yeah, all right. Good night. Love you.
All right, all right.
All right.
Good night. Time to go, guys.
Oh, well, we had a lot of fun there. In the studio with us this evening, none better than the man himself, Killian Amini, joining us on set here tonight. Mate, taking us back through a time machine. Mate, good night to you and welcome on the show.
Thanks, Lawrence. Good to be here. Good night to everybody. Wow,
yeah. What happened?
Mate, I tell you what, that was really some really rare footage.
Yeah.
But good stuff, great fun. A lot of good memories, I can say, and a lot of stuff that I forgot that we were doing. But yeah, just good fun.
Mate, just talking
really
to you,
good.
talking to you off camera about you know the things you did and you know where you went to. We saw a bit of your highlights of the NRL Grand Final. Which one would you pick, or which are the moments that you know over the last since 2001? Which are the ones that sort of stick out to you the most?
Obviously, when you get to do a show like this, you get to cover a lot of sports, and you know, any major sporting event that you get the chance to attend to is obviously one of the big ones. We follow rugby league like a passion here in Papua New Guinea. And, although I wasn't a big Bulldogs or Roosters supporter, it was the highlight of obviously going down to the Sydney for the 2004 Grand Final. It was the Bulldogs and the Roosters, East versus West. You don't get to really understand or appreciate the rivalry between Sydney-siders just in that city itself until you go to a Grand Final when one side versus the other.
And how good was it to also get Ken Sutcliffe and
Roy
Warren?
In those days, MTV was still part of the Channel 9 family, so we were subsidiaries. So we had the opportunities to do a lot of working and traveling. A lot of our guys who are the guys who are still working here, they had that opportunity as well in the early days of MTV, and we had that partnership, and so we reached out and said that we were coming down for the Grand Final. We were obviously Channel 9 Papua New Guinea, that's who we were recognized at. So when we then went down to Sydney, just flashing the Channel 9 badge and walking around all over Willoughby, got to meet all the famous newscasters, and yeah, it was just great fun, and we got to watch a Grand Final at the end of that the whole week, you know.
Mate,
so it was great.
Appy Cashman, Andrew Lapani, and this guy, Stevie D.
Stevie D, what a guy, huh?
We featured him a couple of weeks ago, but mate, you had a pretty good team then.
We had, and then we also had the old dog Max Appius,
of course,
who would float in from time to time. He was a consultant for MTV back in the day. So if he was in town or if he was at a certain place that we'd be going out to do a big production at. So for example, in Kavieng, we got to do a special from Sports Scene Kavieng, which was probably one of the best ever shows that I've ever been involved with. So. And that was just fun, and Mark Sappius just happened to be in Kavieng at the same time, so like that's it, you know. He's got so much experience, Mark Sappius, the late Mark Sappius, of course, and one of the great guys to work with. And you mentioned the other names, like bunch of champions, all of them.
I mean, look, I want to just ask you a personal question. What made you get into media? You know, of course, the Amini family is very synonymous in cricket, you know, but, you know, what happened there?
Well, it just the history happens to be that my older sister was actually working here.
Yes.
When the place opened up, you know, back in the early days, 87, late 80s.
Yeah.
So obviously coming over after work, you just got to see a lot of MTV, and then that's it. You just sort of fell in love with the hype about you know, being in front of the camera and all that kind of stuff. Of course, I didn't plan on being in front of the camera. My early job was trying to just be a producer. I'd come from radio. You know what it's like. You work in radio. You're better off behind the microphone rather than in front of the lights and the camera. But then suddenly you've got the gift of the gab, and then guys say, no, you're better off outside in front of the cameras and talking to the millions out there. So I'm sure everybody enjoyed our time out there, but yeah, it's good fun.
Mate, listen, thank you very much, and you know, I hope you rekindled some of those memories.
Good fun.
Yeah,
I've got to get a copy of that though. That's classic. Thank you very much.
You will. Now, listen, thank you very much for joining us on the show, and yeah, you know, obviously the legacy from that is definitely something worth, you know, as you said, saving up for, and here we are today.
There you go. Keep going strong, Sports Scene, the #1 show. Always get to tune in every now and then, and glad to be on the show once again.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Killian. We'll take a short time out. That is it for The Vault. We'll be back to wrap things up right here on Sports Scene.
Welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene. Unfortunately, time has caught up with us, so we need to tell you what's coming up this weekend real fast before we go. Lawrence?
Yep. Thanks very much, Dini. NRL round number 17 tonight. Biggest upset of the weekend, Broncos to beat the Panthers. Say that and get that out. But yeah, that game's coming up tonight. And then tomorrow night, we've got two games. We've got the Knights versus Cronulla Sharks. Both teams looking to get into the top 8. And South Sydney, another massive game here. The Rabbitohs up against Melbourne Storms. That should be a ripper of a game. Now on Saturday, Bulldogs plays the Titans. Manly Sea Eagles versus West Tigers. And this game, another blockbuster, Canberra Raiders versus Sydney Roosters. SBW is back, Sonny Bill. And that should be a massive match over in Canberra. On Sunday, New Zealand Warriors take on the Parramatta Eels. North Queensland Cowboys will take on the St. George Dragons. That is it for the NRL in Australia. Now here to Papua New Guinea. Digicel Cup round number 9 in Callabon. We go first to the Rabaul Gurias. They'll host the Hela Wigman, all right, this Saturday up in Kokopo there, Callabon. And the other matches in Lae, okay, I think this one is, Lae at the league's ground. Kimber Cutters versus the Goroka Lahanis, okay, and in Port Moresby on Sunday, Gulfi So versus the Port Moresby Vipers, and the Central Dabaris versus the Wagi Tumbe. And just the one more game on Sunday in Lae, Montagan Eagles versus Miox, and the Tigers, this should be a good game, versus the Mendi Moruks to end off round number 9 of the PNG NRLC Digicel Cup. Now to the Kumul Petroleum Holdings National Soccer League round number 15. These are the games. Be live and free, exclusive here on MTV. Hekari versus Gulf Komara. Massive game there. Gulf Komara to try and stay in the top 4. Tusbab Stallions versus FC Bougainville. And Vitias United FC will take on Kotobu FC. As I said, on Saturday, these games will be live and exclusive right here on MTV at those times exactly. All right, that is around. I think we got.
All right, I think we got netball as well.
Yes.
Suncorp netball.
Yeah, I can't stop that. I got to mention the netball.
You need to tell them what's coming up this weekend on TV as well.
Otherwise, my wife's going to absolutely murder me. Anyway, Vixens versus Fever. That's on Saturday night at 8 p.m. And on Sunday at 1 p.m., the Giants take on the Sunshine Coast Lightning.
All right, so that's about it for tonight. If you've just joined us and if you've missed this whole show, go online, go to MTV website, check on the programs for Sports Scene and look for episode 20 and you can view the whole show there. But if you have a story tip that you would like us to attend to, or if you have anything that you want to communicate with us, inboxes on our Sports Scene Facebook page and leave your contact details and your story tip and your full name, not your nickname, your full name. You can always call us as well on 312-9200 and ask to speak to Lawrence or myself, or email us at sports@emtv.com.pg. Lawrence, anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, look, there's a whole heap of sports happening. I know we're starting to get back into this new normal, and just to make sure we do practice, clean hygiene, wash your hands. If you do feel a bit sick or under the weather, just stay at home and just self-isolate, and so we don't spread the virus.
Okay, shout out to all the NSL fans. Keep following Sports Scene as well as MTV Sports, MTV Online, or watch it on TV as well. But for the Port Moresby ones, please do not go to PNG Football Stadium where the side gate is, the side fence is, Tisa House, that bus stop. Please don't go there. Stay safe, be at home, watch it online or on TV.
Yep.
All right, that's about it for tonight. This is where we leave you. Join us same time, same place next week. I'm Dino Striko.
Yep, and I'm Lawrence Lahari.
Good night.
Good night now.
Coming up next week.